national section of the Safety Direct Galway Rally, Daniel McKenna is the hot favourite.
With a long layoff there, we didn't do anything since Donegal last year. The car's got a full rebuild and we just took our time and done everything right, and back out for Galway again, so looking forward to it.
Gary McPhillips in another Mark II Escort is a big threat.
Maximum attack in the morning, and hopefully we'll see how it pays off. We'll just go out and go as hard as we always do, and hopefully it'll work out for us.
Last year's modified winner is Tom Flaherty.
We're lucky we won't win it this year now. You've like McKenna there, and you've McPhillips and Dimlads and Declan Boyle, so it'll be hard to ease into them, you know.
Here's to rally success as we move on to the black stuff at Dykes Road, where Daniel McKenna blasts into the car park. 330 horsepower going to the back wheels requires delicate throttle control in these damp and dirty conditions. Daniel and co-driver Andrew Grennan were fastest by less than a second on Dykes Road, but now it's onto the real stuff on the Kilbeg test, and they're settling in well. Last year's Donegal modified winners will be 10 seconds faster than their rivals in this slippery stage, and this extremely treacherous section will claim one of their main rivals. McKenna, like Gary Jennings and Donna Kelly, gets caught out on this tight 90-degree left, but it's nothing too serious. Nevertheless, they command a 12-second lead by the first service.
Yeah, it's very slippy. I was actually surprised with the grip we were getting on the first stage. It wasn't too bad, but the second one was very, very bad. There was a square left of the wall on stage 2. I think we were in on it as well. I think a few of the top runners were on it as well. So other than that, everything was fine now, to be honest.
Living on the edge, it says on Gary McPhillips' Mark II. And that's what it generally is when you're trying to keep these powerful machines on the road. Gary is second fastest on stage 1, but goes over the edge on stage 2. The impact forcing the jack through the petrol tank. Not good for the MPG. Tom Flaherty will arrive in service in second place and top of the Galway drivers in the whole field, despite some power steering issues. Richard and John Burke are another Galway crew going well, 6th in the National. They'll retire on the second loop. Donegal's Declan Boyle starts off well in 4th place, 31 seconds behind the leader of the first Headford service. He'll soon move more into the limelight. Last year's tarmac modified champion, Jeffrey Dolan, is adapting to a new Escort, whilst local driver Pat Kelly is 10th in his Subaru. John Hendy is 5th, with Martin McGee 3rd and fastest of the national crews on stage 3. These conditions are made for the tail-out style of the modified men as we move into the second loop of stages. National leader Daniel McKenna shows us just how fine the line can be on the Kenny Galway Kilbeg stage.
170 up to crest in middle.
Oh, you He got away with that one on the corner that had earlier claimed Alan Ring. Further down the stage, the Scanbits Escort seems to misjudge its braking distance by a large margin. And headbutting these boulders isn't to be recommended. Gone is the National Rally lead.
Yeah, just a brake too late into a E-junction and I braked myself for nowhere to go into a wall. Luckily enough, it didn't do too much damage, but we burst our oil cooler. We got to the end of the stage and then we bypassed the oil cooler just so we could finish this loop, but we weren't sure, so we weren't pushing too hard because we had to keep an eye on our oil pressure and stuff. But otherwise, we're putting another oil cooler in here now, but we're 8 minutes late into the next control, so we think we're 2 minutes penalties. So I think we're going to continue on and see what happens. Sure, the other guys might drop out. So
the glory of Galway, Tom Flaherty now inherits the lead and he has an 11-second advantage after the Sasha Otto Kilcuna stage. Leaping into second are Declan and Brian Boyle with the fastest modified time on the same stage. Martin McGee, who was third, drops out of contention with problems on this loop, whilst John Hendy moves into third with the fastest modified times on the Hogan Motors and Colm Quinn tests. Tom Cahill and Philip Connolly now command fourth in their four-wheel drive Lancer, with Arthur and Mac Kieran's fifth as we round up the national event. Noel Lappin takes the Class 9 honours. Patrick Kiernan is 15th overall and the Class 10 winner. Galway's Neil Pearce is the Class 11 winner and a fine 10th overall. One of the event entertainers, Liam Howlett, 9th and 1st in Class 13. Jonathan Folan takes 8th in his non-homologated Subaru Impreza, while in 7th is Pat Kelly in a similar car. Tom Cahill is 6th in his Evo 7. Arthur and Mac Kieran's last year's Border Rally champions take a fine 5th in Galway. And our in-car duo of Daniel McKenna and Andrew Grennan climb their way back to 4th.
200 straight. Fast right, even where we crash jump in the kick jump.
Daniel and his Scanbits Escort are normally a devastating combination, but that strange Stage 5 incident has cost the team any chance of victory. Daniel doesn't back off as he fights the conditions on the North Galway roads.
Then at the bottom, Kerry Plus cut. In the fast we have to work fast and stop for Kerry Plus late. And up, Kerry Plus late now. 100k or watch Kerry Plus in gravel and slippy.
John Hendy splits up the Mark II parade with a fabulous third in his underpowered 2-litre Corolla. Not only that, but he's also setting some fastest times amongst the modified runners. Tom Flaherty's happy to be the top Galway driver again, but disappointed to lose out on the National Rally victory on the very last stage. That honour goes to the Donegal duo, Declan and Brian Boyle. They put in a late charge to win by just 2.5 seconds. It's one of the closest modified finishes for a long time.
We had a good day now. We set out to just set a steady pace and keep it clean and tidy, and it worked out in the end.
Back to the internationals, where Anthony Masterson wins Class 3. Eugene O'Donnell makes a great return to the driving seat in 19th and 1st in Class 1. David Carney is 15th and 2nd in Class 2. Gerard Donovan has a clean run to 14th, whilst David Quickly is a very creditable 13th and 1st in Class 2 with his Honda. Despite this front wheel puncture, Trevor and Kenny Bustard are 12th, while Stephen Wright gets waved onto 11th, and Josh Moffat is just 8 seconds behind in 10th. The Kerryman Thomas Fitzmaurice completes his WRC debut in 9th.
Long 3 left, okay.
Donna Kelly and Kevin Flanagan have sorted their problems and are now on a real charge and getting closer to the Group N front-running pace on this, the final loop. The Electricity team are thinking the long game. They will be happy with their points haul in the opening championship round, and their Lancer has survived one minor off and completes the 10 stages with no further damage. 8th place and 3rd in Group N is their award. Sam Moffat and James O'Reilly must be delighted with their 7th place finish and 2nd in Group N in their Jerry McGarity prepared Evo. Dara O'Riordan and Tony McDade take 6th place. It isn't a brilliant start, but those points could be important at the end of the year. Derek McGarty and James McKee overhauled Dara's S14 on the last loop to steal back a few more points with their 5th place.
Right over crest.
Gary Jennings and Rory Kennedy have had one of the drives of the rally.
And left, and right in, and left over crest, 40, 3 right, braking 40, turn 5 right, slippy, 5 right, slippy.
It's been a fine showing for the Fermanagh driver, taking his lesser powered Group N car to 4th
Slippy,
overall.
fast 4 right, Pete Slippy, fast 4 right, 80, fast 4 left line.
With bonus points awarded for Group N cars in the championship, it puts him in 3rd place in the Irish Tarmac points table.
2 right, in over brake
And
press,
when the going gets rough, Gary seems to come into his own.
40, 3 left continues, open to pole, 60, caution, fast 4 right, tightens loose.
it's great, it's fantastic to come here, make no mistakes, well, one mistake, and to be in the battle with the WRC cars, it's been really good.
But now for the big drama. Early leader Tim McNulty drops to third.
Yeah, we had a great start to the rally this morning, 4 fastest times, 5 in fact, and went on to stage 6, and maybe got a bit complacent coming into it. It was an absolute right 150 into a chicane, and I was flat in 6th gear, and it was just pure shiny tar, and it just took off. But I thought I had it, but I clipped the bail and it broke the hub. So we'd no spare hub for the rest of the rally. So going round the wing in a prayer for the last 4 stages, hoping it wouldn't blow up and write the car off, So that's in the back of your mind as well. So we could have pushed a wee bit harder, but it was difficult to keep the car on the road, and it was wandering a lot and stuff. So, difficult conditions. So we're happy enough to be back in the top 3 here this evening, but we only lost the rally by 5 seconds if you consider the trouble we had.
Tim has to nurse the S11 Impreza home, and Eugene Donnelly smells victory now in the Conquin Mini WRC. He'll have to catch the new leader Darren Gass in the solo Subaru. Eugene is fastest on stage 8 by just over a second, but there's more to come. On stage 9, he launches the Mini to another fastest time, 5 seconds faster than anyone, and starts the final stage 17 seconds off the lead. It's an all-out effort after that costly stage 6 puncture, and the Mini is now really showing its potential. But that's 17 seconds to make up on Darren Gass. Surely that's too much to ask of the new Mini. Eugene and Paddy Toner give it everything on the final stage, passing McNulty and taking 15 seconds from the leader. But they end the event just 1.3 seconds behind Darren Gass.
But I have to say, we had a great day, fantastic day. The car is brilliant. It's everything we thought and a little bit more. Just more time in it, and if this had been a 2-day rally, maybe it would have been a different story.
This slow motion comparison between the Mini and Dara O'Riordan's S14 shows just how hard Eugene was trying. He's a car length ahead on one straight.
It's Darren's biggest rallying day to date. He and Enda Sherry have played it so cool to record their first Irish Tarmac Championship win. The 23-year-old has displayed a new maturity this weekend in his older S10 Impreza. And so a new young charger heads the Irish Tarmac Championship, and Galway welcomes its new rallying heroes.
Can't believe it. It's been a really, really good day, So Tim and Eugene had their own troubles in the middle of the day, and I knew Eugene was going to come at us in the last 3 stages, and I drove my brains out on the first 2 after service. And the last stage I couldn't get into the last stage at all, and I knew I was driving rubbish. I couldn't get my head together. Just 1 second, so it was very, very tight. Delighted.
The Galway Motor Club's decision to go for a new format has suited these recessionary times.
Yeah, we decided back in October when we looked at the whole format. We looked at our costs from last year, we looked at the costs for the competitor, and it was a committee decision. We decided we'd bring it back to 1 day, and we put the word out there, and people latched onto it, and it worked very well for us, thank God, yeah.
Next time on RPM, it's the Donnelly Group Circuit of Ireland Rally.